guys, welcome onto the shop. Today we have a project. We are building a box right here, and one of the things about this box is that I'm using just regular miter joints. Miter joints suck for just building boxes. Sometimes they don't hold up well, something like that. Something may fail. So one of the ways that you can reinforce that is dovetails. Well, I guess you would just change the overall joinery of that, but one thing that you can do is add some splines. That is what I'm going to be doing today. And the one thing that I need to do is make a spline jig. It's a very simple jig. I've done spline jigs for picture frames before, and they're very simple to build. Maybe 15-20 minutes worth of time put into the build. Then you just take it, throw it to the side, and have it as a backup. Or whenever you go to make another box, you have this. So today we are going to be building that jig, and I'm going to walk you guys through how to do that. Alright, so you guys can see I have a piece of some 3/4 inch scrap plywood. It is 8 inches in, I guess, height or length, whatever, I guess the height. And what I need to do is figure out how big of a piece I need for it to run along the fence. So the easiest thing that I have ever found out to do is just take your speed square, put up your material that you're going to be working with, and I've got it at the 45 right here, and I leave a little bit extra on this side, and then I will take this and kind of eyeball where the tip is, and now I know exactly about where I want to go ahead and have my area right here. We'll try to make this an even number for when we do your 45-degree angles. So right now it's at 17 1/4. We don't want to deal with that, so we'll just make it a nice even 18-inch section that will ride up alongside that fence. Now we'll go ahead and get this cut out real quick, and then we'll be able to get our 45-degree angles. So now that we've gotten the main piece cut out, we want to go ahead and establish our center line. So we are at exactly 18 inches. So we'll make our center line 7 inches. I'm just playing. Put it at the 9-inch mark. And then you'll need your speed square back. And we will speed square align that way. And we will speed square align this way at 45-degree angles. And so now we need to figure out what we need for our length of our two pieces. And let's see here, what size do we need? What size do we need? So I'm going to pull, and I will make this piece at 10 inches, and then we'll make this piece, make one at 10 inches and then one at 9 1/4 to make up for the thickness of this piece that's going to run right here. Alright, so we have our main assembly pretty much done. We've got our lines laid out. We've got our pieces to hold our work piece. And now what I need to do is go ahead and attach your two pieces to your wood. The first time I did it, I tried to attach them right to the wood, and it's a lot easier to attach the two pieces that hold the work piece together first. So what I'm going to end up doing is pre-drilling 2 holes and screwing those two together, and put a bead of glue in there as well. So I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and squared up. You guys can use a clamp if you would like to, just to make sure that it's exactly how you would want it and it stays that way. So I'm gonna drill countersink done. Alright, so now we'll get this other corner lined up nice and good. I meant to put a bead of glue in there, so I'll countersink this, take that other screw out, put a bead of glue in there. Alright, so now we're at the assembly for the workpiece holding to the actual side piece that will be running along the fence. And the easiest way that I found to do this is to get your assembly lined up on the very bottom. Get one side set for the 45. So I will double check with my speed square if it doesn't want to fall off. And now I'll take a clamp oh, come on. And now I'll clamp this down. So before you do all this, one thing you have to do is go ahead and make your 45-degree marks on this back side as well. And you can see where I put the squiggle marks right in there. That is where I'm going to be doing some pre-drilling. So what I need to do is go ahead and pre-drill a couple holes right through here. I'm going to try to stay up about this area. I don't want to get too low because then the screw might penetrate into the workpiece holding area, and I mean we could accidentally saw into it. So try to stay, I don't know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches up. And I'm going to go ahead and get some holes pre-drilled into this side, and then we will go ahead and adjust the other side to make sure it's 45 and get that one drilled. Alright, I'm going to get this area cleaned up, and then we'll go ahead and play with this new spline jig and show you guys how it works and see how it does on that box. Alright guys, we are here. We are ready to be using this spline jig. So I have made my measurements on where I want this. It's a 3/4 inch thick piece of plywood runner right here, and I want this to be about 1 inch in after I get totally cutting it. So I've got this set up at inch and 5/8 right now because I want to split the difference. I'm putting in a 3/16 inch key. So I've put this, I split that key. All right, so I've got my box clamped down in here so that it won't be moving around inside the jig at all, and I don't have to worry about putting my hands down here. And also for the blade depth, I have simply spun this around, butted this up against here, and I had this all the way over on this side to see where I wanted to be cutting my key. And so I've got my depth set, and then I went back over here and eyeballed up the saw blade with the screws I installed, and we are good at that aspect. So I think we are ready to make some cuts. And when you are doing the splines, because I've got a 3/16 inch spline and only an 1/8 inch blade, I'll cut all four, I'll rotate the box, and then I'll move this over to the inch and 7/8 inch mark. Actually, I'll probably do it a little bit shy on my first one so I can see how the fit is, and then I'll bump it over till I get a nice tight fit with that key. Now this is going to take some trial and error with this. Getting it set up so it is dead on perfect. The last time I did this was on a picture frame, and it was like a couple years ago, so it's been a while. But it's a simple thing. It's just a different technique to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting these cut, and we'll see what the keys look like. Alright guys, so we got to use the spline jig a little bit, and after you get that done, you guys want to cut out some of your little tabs to put in your spline hole, and then you cut it off and you get a nice little corner just like that. This still has to be all cleaned up, sanded, finished, everything like that. But that's the basics of using your spline jig. Very simple to do. One of these is very simple to build, and when you use your spline jig, what you do, this is my material right here. It's a 3/8 inch yellow heart, and what you would do is go the furthest point out, and this was after a little bit of trial and error. You go to your furthest point out, and then you can put this as a spacer on the inside and push it. You guys see it right there, spacer, and you guys would push the material back up against that, and that would give you the thickness for your cut. So yeah, that's it. Very simple to use. After some trial and error, you don't want to make your gaps too big. I do have one gap that was a little bit too big, and I gotta fill it in. I gotta cut out a piece of purple heart, or a piece of red cedar, and kind of fill it back in, but that's not a big deal. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, let me know in the section down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.